Hey everybody, what's going on? Coming to you again from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Maybe I should do these live, but there's so many platforms I want to upload one video to, and it's just so difficult with Facebook or Google. It seems like one person owns everything, but there are multiple platforms, as you know. So I'm going to put this up for all of you guys to see, and hopefully you'll still watch it. I wanted to talk a little bit, first of all, and say thank you very much. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for everyone's support since Friday. As you may have seen on the live video or some of the posts that I've done after the horrendous treatment that President Zelensky got, being bullied by grown men who are supposed to lead our country. Acting just completely inappropriately, asking things like, why don't you wear a suit? Just ambushed this hero, this man who's fighting like a lion to save his country. And as you know, I'm a huge Ukrainian supporter, so I don't know why some people were surprised, except that they're just trying to shut me up. I received a lot of threats. Some were vague, some were more specific. No one said, I'm coming to your house to kill you, but they kind of made that kind of suggestion. And, you know, it's been an interesting, I'd say, time ever since Trump has been inaugurated. I have received several threats of violence from people I don't know, which is less worrisome, but also from people I do know, like vaguely, have met once, or maybe went to elementary school with them. And so obviously we don't stay in touch. And then back when Facebook came on the scene, these people found me and were my friends. So, most cases where there could have been something credible, where someone could know where I live or whatnot, we were able to work it out. And I'm really happy I was able to talk to these folks in a rational way and both back down. But after Friday, these were coming fast and furious from a lot of people threatening, my career mainly, the show, which is fine, as I discussed in the live video, or, my safety, which is also not fine, but also fine. You do what you got to do, as I said. I'm not going to shut up because of any of those threats. That's the problem. And I wanted to really address the fact that some people were like, I didn't know this was a political page. Again, that's a comment that comes across to me as to shut me up, to say, just shut up and talk about travel. Well, that's not going to happen. It's my page. I do what I want. I started the show with my own money. I took all the risk. Anything that you're watching is because I did that. Now, the fact that you like it is great. But if you cease to like it because of something I do on social media, that is not my problem. I'm not put on this earth to please you. I never was, and I never would be so shallow as to do that. So I would imagine if you do like the show, or me, or did, it may be because of that attitude. But that's the attitude I have, and that's not changing. Number one, I'm not a people pleaser, yo. Number two, I'm also not a turn the cheek other guy. I do not hold grudges, but I will not turn the other cheek. And I think that's one thing we can learn from Zelensky. You're not just going to sit and be punched around. I'm not a punching bag for you because you're sitting on the other side of the world or wherever you may be typing from your computer. Find me in New York or in Tennessee, and then we can have a face-to-face discussion. But, this cowardly stuff of trying to shut people up and intimidate them. And I am sure there's probably one or two like Proud Boys or Oath Keepers or whatever those clowns are calling themselves these days, unpatriotic, un-American people trying to shut down dissent and democracy, that could carry this through. And for that, I say, if I'm a high value enough target, go for it, my friend. Go for it. I would much rather buy a beer with someone, have a discussion, civilized, but I know that is not possible in this day and age for many, many people. For those of you it still is, let's do it. But understand this. This page of Raw Travel is an extension of the show, but not really. Raw Travel, for me, is me. I am it, and it is me, and I'm interwoven to it. I named it Raw Travel, not Robert's Raw Travel, because I thought I might get a host or somebody who knew what they were doing when I first started it off. And then things just happened. I mean, I was cheap talent. I've covered this before. And people identified me with the show, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. I never wanted to be on camera, but I'm going to try this. And I did it, and it worked, and we're here. Now, people are saying, well, shut up because you need to travel and not be political. Well, you're telling me as an individual to shut up, and I'm not going to do that. Now, the show itself is not that political, but travel is political. And I think there's a difference there between people who are vacationers and people who are travelers. Raw travel is for travelers. And if you are a vacationer and you happen to watch Raw Travel and get something out of it, go for it, man. I don't care. But the idea was to get people out of vacation mode and into travel mode. And what does travel mode mean? That means having authentic experiences and learning about the local culture. And how do you do that? Were you going to go to Guatemala and pretend there was no civil war and that the United States didn't play a part in that, and that people there to this day are still missing loved ones who are disappeared? Or here in Argentina, I just went to Remembrance Park and learned about the authoritarian dictatorship from the 80s. Same era. You're going to go to Cuba and pretend that everything's cool? You're going to go to Ukraine at war and pretend that nothing's happening? These are all political things. When you travel to another country, it is political. You're going through immigration. You need to know, do you need a visa or do you not? What are the local laws? Are the local laws, if I don't study up on them, will I be thrown in jail? Does the United States have a good relationship with this country? Will I be extradited to Russia if I go to this country? Because Russia doesn't like what I say? These are all political things. So you cannot extrapolate politics from travel. And I would just go further and say, at this point in time in history, you cannot extrapolate politics from your life. You may not be interested in politics. Politics is interested in you, whether you like it or not. So you can decide to either be a victim or sit around and say nothing and let politics happen to you and people you love, and then wring your hands if you're going to jail or someone you know is going to jail or gets killed because of the decisions and the things that are happening today, or that you can't express yourself anymore. And all the freedoms that the United States has had for since I've been alive. When all that disappears, or if that all disappears, and you did nothing, you deserve it. You get what you deserve. I'm not going to do that. That's not happening. So because this is my show, and I'm attached to it, I will do what I want. And what I want to do is what I have been doing and what I will continue to do, which is fight for vulnerable people, which I always have done in the show. That's why we have the Give Back segment. Some of you never responded to that. I noticed that, but some loved it. And for every person that doesn't like what I say, as we've seen, there's 10 who do, or 2. I don't know what the ratio is. All I know is there was growth there. I don't do this to advance my brand. I do this to do my best to try to help humanity to the best of my ability, to make my life as good as possible, those people I love, and most importantly, for children that I love in my life and outside of my life. Maybe because I don't have children, I really love children. I also really love old people. I think I just love vulnerable people, man. I don't know. But the bottom line is, I want them to live in a free society and to have the beautiful blessings that I had by having the luck of geography of living in this country. And that's why I do it. In many ways, I'm planting the tree whose shade I will never be able to sit under because of my age. But if we go down a very slippery slope of fascism and authoritarianism, something I know something about because of my travels and my studies, then I will be forever, first of all, living the last third of my life in misery, probably. Trying to extract some joy out of that, I will, of course, hopefully, if I am able to live freely, somewhat freely. But I will have abandoned the next generations coming up behind me. And for those of you who have children, I'm sure you're very concerned right now. And I talk to friends who have, and I don't blame you. I would be. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to continue to do what I've been doing. But I'm going to ask a favor from you. One thing I've noticed is this lightning rod of a issue of, I guess, Trump and Vance bullying President Zelensky, which is exactly what I saw. You can spin it however you want, man. I know what I saw. Same thing on January 6th. I know what I saw. Pardoning those folks? Okay, I know what I saw. It's not a love fest. People died. People got hurt. Tried to overthrow democracy. I know that. You can sit on my page and try to argue that blue is red and red is blue and the sky is the moon and the moon is the sky, or the moon is the sun and the sun is the moon, till you're blue in the face. But I know what I know because I saw it. The same reason that I travel, because I want to see it and understand it and learn. So you can do that. But I don't have to put it on my page. I will not put it on my page. I will not allow disinformation and misinformation that harms other people to live on my page. That's just the way it's going to be. If you can't handle that, then don't engage. Or engage and get ready to get blocked. What I would like to ask for the people, and the majority of the people who may be watching this far, is that if you see someone doing something, I'm having a hell of a time trying to moderate these comments, and it gets overwhelming. And I would love for your help. Now, I was amazed. I blocked someone who was just saying some crazy Russian disinformation stuff. So I just blocked her. I didn't feel like engaging. I don't have to engage with everybody. I don't want to. Just blocked her. And I found out they were like, oh, she's a community. She moderates your live feeds. I'm like, what? How did that happen? I have no idea. It's stupid Facebook. Facebook, before this moment, I was going to unplug. I seriously have been thinking about doing it because it is toxic, man. You guys, I'm sure, have seen it. My feed is full of garbage, garbage, AI propaganda, hard right to me. I'm like, you're not using an algorithm to see what I want to see. This is insulting to my intelligence, to my morality. It lives outside of my values, and you're just feeding me a steady dose of it. What do you think? I'm going to change my values because of Facebook's sending me garbage on my feed? I'm not, but some people will, and I guess that's why we are where we are. But I decided after Friday, I'm not unplugging from social media. I saw this great video. I'm going to post it online. The time to disengage is not now. Trust me, if we go down that slippery slope to authoritarianism, you have plenty of time to not speak your mind. Now is the time to nip this in the bud, as Trump is using the Federal Communications, the FCC Commission, the FCC, Federal Communications Commission, that regulates broadcast television, to go after his enemies, to shut them down, to shut down NPR, CBS, to settle scores, as he's consolidating power. We know what's happening. We see it. It's happened in countries like Hungary. It happened in Russia. We're not Hungary and we're not Russia. We have people who have lived in freedom for a long time, and we're not going to allow that to happen. Not without a hell of a fight. And I plan to be in that fight until I can't be. So I would love if you could join with me. And one of the ways you can help, and one of the things I've been saying, it's better to do a little than nothing at all. So if you can help me a little bit, just by helping me moderate comments, flag something for me. Shoot me take a screenshot, shoot me a direct message, whatever. Take it down. I'll block them. I don't want people settling scores with each other. I want us to be united here. I want Raw Travel to be a retreat from the world. I always did want that as well. I didn't want it to be just a free-for-all. That's why I didn't even comment about January 6th. I was like, what's the point? It's all over the media. These guys are going to jail. What's the point? Well, now there's a real reason to do that. I had no idea, we have to be dealing with this again in 4 years. Thought we were done. Hoped we were done. Thought we could heal. Now I see that's not possible. We pardon the people who did the crimes. So, what are we going to do? We're going to fight. That's what I'm going to do. You can fight with me or not. If I lose half my viewers, if I lose all my followers, I don't care. I'm doing it. I'm not stopping. If you want to come with me, come with me. That's what this page is going to be about. You think that's being overly political? It is not. It's being a conscientious travel, which is what a conscientious traveler, which is what Raw Travel has been about since day one. I'm so sorry for this long video, but I'm asking you guys to do this. This is a seminal moment. And I hope someday we look at this and chuckle and say, wow, bro, you were really up in arms. And I'll be like, yeah, maybe I was being hyperbolic. I hope so. I hope so. The last thing I want to do is look back at this and say, oof, I was dead on. Or I didn't know could be even more serious, which so far is tracking. It's more serious than I ever thought it was going to be. So I think it is serious. I think the last thing you want to do right now is disengage. Take care of your mental state. Rest, but don't quit. Do a little, but don't do nothing. I'm going to be posting some things. Some are going to be pure travel because we all need a break, man. But some are going to be about things that I know a little bit about that I feel like can help others to fight what I feel like we're up against right now. If you don't like that, then no. You can either take the good and ignore the bad, or you can just disengage altogether, and either way is okay. I get it. It's all good. I don't want this to turn into an insult fest. So I'm posting this video now, hoping you will help me. Thank you guys again for all your support. Really meant a lot. It is really heartwarming. I know I've had some friends from Ukraine say how much it meant to them. And, you know, it's not just about Ukraine, it's the world. And we're in the world and we're interconnected. That's why it's important that we keep fighting. Thank you so much.